Hello and welcome back to another Adams Lab field video. As always, I'm Kyle. Today we're still in Costa Rica, if you watched the last video, and we're hiking down Camino Experimental Sur, or CES. We're actually at the the end of the trail right now, and we're walking out. I was coming down the trail, checking for flagging and tags that we left because I'm starting to clean up from the field season this year, and we don't want to leave plastic around in the forest. That's, incredibly disrespectful. So what we were doing down this trail was hunting for Sericomyrmex amabilis. If you saw one of our previous videos where we hiked into Serico paradise in Gamboa, Panama, it was the same idea there. At that spot, at that field site, we just had a big plot. We call it a permanent plot that we hunt around and bait at. Whereas here, like when we traveled down CCL, it's an actual trail. And what we're doing here is looking for colonies that are alongside or even in the forest in some areas, baiting them, and then collecting from there. And while we're going through here, it's not quite here because I came all the way down the trail, just in case I found any other colonies that I wanted to collect from. I want to encourage you to compare the environment and the ecosystem here to the one we see at Serico Paradise in Panama. I know that sounds like homework your teacher would give you. Compare and contrast these two things, but that's how we find sites like this. That's how we find sites that have the organisms we want, is just by, well, we know we can find them in primary forest with such and such rainfall. In one place, sorry, I'm a little out of breath. Can we find a similar primary rainforest with about that much rainfall in another place? And the answer is yes. We can find it here, coming down CES. And even some other places. I've seen some on CCL as well. So really go back, if you want to, just check it out and compare. I don't have as many cool things to show as I did coming down CCL, but I'll keep talking about how we find habitat for our ants. So a lot of it is just based on historical knowledge and data. We know we found them here, or a certain species at a place before, because people have baited there, or people have looked for them there already and found them. That's one way, just historical knowledge. The other way is what I just described. We know they're at one place. Can we find somewhere similar nearby and look for them there? That's another way. And a third way, which is really just the first two ways combined, is using computational methods with biogeographical methods and algorithms that can predict based on known habitat data and geological data and geographical data, where species, where populations may be spread to. The caveat with that last one, it sounds very fancy, it sounds very nice, but somebody needs to have collected some of that data beforehand, right? So you're not going to know if there's a primary forest in an area unless somebody has noted that there's a primary forest and where those boundaries are. Probably some other methods that I'm not aware of, but so yeah, we're just walking back. Much shorter trip compared to the CCL, so if you have time, go watch that video as well. And that one, we're looking for, or we're just going down hike, looking at some Megalomyrmex sites. This one we were looking for Sericomyrmex amabilis. Not sure if I said that or not already. It's been very overcast today, so it's particularly dark, but one of the nice things about working in a rainforest, or really any forest, is that the trees, the canopy, provide a very nice shade. So even if it's hot, and today it's very hot, even when it's hot, it's not as hot as it could be. Here's a leafcutter nest at as you can see, it's very large, and they have no respect for human structures like sidewalks, except for the fact that they like to use them to also travel. So maybe they like that it makes their lives easier and they don't have to make their own trails. They can just walk on down the sidewalk, which is a really fascinating way that an organism has adapted to kind of human invasion into their environment, right? Because cement sidewalks are not natural, believe it or not. However, these ADA really take to them, and it is so easy to find them just walking along the edges or crossing over, even if they have to get to the other side, instead of forming trails through the leaf litter like they would normally. And when they do that, they always clear all the leaves and the plants away, so they're only going through this dirt trail. It's very obvious. I wish I knew where one was off the top of my head so I can show you. Maybe I'll insert a picture somewhere. But yeah, when they use the sidewalk, I mean, the sidewalk's pretty much cleared already, and OET does, or OTS in English, does a really good job of maintaining these trails, so the trails don't really get messy that often. There was a really bad storm this morning or last night, so that's why there's some debris here. But they maintain these trails, and because someone else keeps the trail clean, well, now the ADA don't need to keep it clean. That's less energy and effort they have to put toward maintaining a trail. They can spend it cutting up leaves or growing more brood, which is really fascinating. I'd really be curious to know if there's like changes in caste distribution and composition in colonies that live on these pre-made or human-made trails versus ones that have to make their own. I have no idea if there would be anything there or not. I don't know. Free idea though, for anyone who wants it. Make sure to put me in your acknowledgements, or make me an author even. I wouldn't be against it. Here's fun. Here's a bullet ant. There's a bullet ant nest somewhere around here. I don't think we've walked past it yet, but the reason why they call them bullet ants is because their sting hurts just as much as getting shot with a bullet. And Dr. Justin Schmidt rated bullet ant stings on his pain index as one of the most painful insect stings imaginable. So, and this is the man who who got stung by a lot. He got stung by a lot of different critters. So if there was ever a world expert, he would be the person to have known. Oh, perfect. Here's an example. Let's get down to it. Here's an example of a leafcutter trail, and you can see coming through here how they clear away. Let's see if we can get a good shot. Oh no. Clear away all of the debris and refuse. Right? The larger things they can't, but they don't want to walk through leaves or anything, so they just move it away. And actually, let's check this out. This is the cool part about field biology. Let's look at this. We're discovering stuff right now. This fallen frond, they're using it as a highway as well. So maybe there is some biological basis for using these large passageways almost. Obviously a palm frond is much smaller and less anthropogenic compared to a sidewalk, but it's still this clear way for critters to walk on and walk through, which is really fascinating. This is the fun part about field biology, especially when you're by yourself and I don't know, talking to whoever is watching this video and they can't talk back. You kind of have to speak. Your mind can just wander. Here's a piece of plastic I missed walking in. So I guess you can see what I was doing is we were marking Sericomyrmex amabilis colonies and then collecting from them later. We did not collect from these colonies because they were too small, too young, but that gives me an opportunity now to show you what a Sericomyrmex amabilis colony looks like. And so what they like to do is they like to be down under leaves and in leaves, so it's hard to tell, but like this clearing here, these little granules, even along here, that's where the Sericomyrmex have dug out. They dig tunnels and chambers, and they have to move that dirt somewhere, so they move it out here. And what they do then is they like to pull leaves over. They like to make things under leaves, just to keep it a little more hidden. And so we're just gonna give them that leaf cover back. See, I think there was another one around here somewhere. Let's see if we can spot it. A lot of the ways that we find these colonies is we have our lights and we're just looking along the trails for that little bit of rubble. I know it seems like a pretty hard task to accomplish, but when you do it a lot, you start to form a search image, and it becomes a little easier to find them. I am by no means an expert on it, but my PI, Dr. Adams, and my lab mates like Alyssa Geis are much better. Oh, we also have an opportunity to come down the research swamp in memory of William R. Tesca. Let's check it out. This is just a little boardwalk. It's very short. I've been down it before, but this is where the frog researchers will observe their frogs. And last night, or early this morning, like I was saying before, there was this really big storm. So all the frogs are out calling for mates. You might be able to hear them already. I'm going to be quiet now so you can listen to those instead. Remember, as we're coming out here, take the moment, stop, look up and out. Look at that. Of course with the silly sounds of frogs, but absolutely beautiful swamp. fly. Sounds like there's a lot here, so let's just stop and look. Because we might be able to see some frogs. I don't know if I see frogs, but I do see leaf cutters in there taking apart some plants. Oh, here's a good spot. Let's check it out. Just sit for a moment. Not just because I'm tired, but because you sit and watch, and that's when you learn things. Right, that's the pinnacle of field biology. Anyone can come out and collect things and run experiments. But the field biologist is someone who sits and just watches, observes. I don't know if you can see, but there's all these eggs down here in the water. Oh, I see a tadpole. Oh, they're big. I've never seen the tadpoles here. I'm gonna try to detach the camera. I don't have this tripod with me, or I would extend down. But let's see if I can get you closer without dropping you into the water. I don't know if you can see all those eggs and all the tadpoles swimming down in there. That's really cool. All right, I'll reattach you now. The mosquitoes are starting to find me. If you stay still, the mosquitoes find you. If you keep moving, they can't keep up. They're too slow. So I'm gonna move now because I enjoy not being bitten by mosquitoes. I think there's like a wasp out hunting, but she's not gonna bother me. This is the end of the boardwalk. I think there's stuff off trail. I've never been off trail. I'm not familiar with this place well enough. So we're not gonna check that out today. But we'll take a walk back down the boardwalk now. Maybe we can stand and watch this for a bit. I'm gonna look this way. Earlier in the video you could have of course watched, but whoa, look at this. I didn't get to see this before because I was looking the other way. The leaf cutters walking along this tree root. And are they cutting from the tree? Let's follow them up. They are. Wow, so they're all up in this tree. See if we can find the way they're going. All the way up, it looks like. Yes, I see them going up that way. I can't see them anymore. Wow. Where are they going to? It looks like the colony is in there somewhere. And it looks like they're coming from in further in as well. Here's another example of the leaf cutters using these kind of structures as walkways. Interesting. Lots of different frog calls here. That trip was intentional. Oh, there's another bullet ant. Get my light on her. She got something. Looks like she got a little bit of food. Gonna leave her alone. Don't wanna. I 100% believe everyone who calls them bullet ants and says they're called bullet ants for a reason. Don't want to find out about it quite yet. I think I may have walked past the bullet ant colony, unfortunately. I don't remember where it is exactly. They like to live at the base of trees, and they'll dig down into the soil near them. And presumably they live kind of among the root structure there, but I'm not sure. Oh, 100 meters to go. This is a place where we found a lot of Sericomyrmex amabilis. They just live in this area. And if you went back to look at the Serico Paradise video, you noticed a lot of similarities. It's not super flat, but similar kind of flat-ish. You can tell water flows over through it a lot. Leaf litter covered, but not too dense. Very moist, etc. Well, this is the trailhead. So this is the end of CES. This is back out into the research campus, into another trail going down there. But that's the end of this video, so thank you for joining my hike today. I hope you found it interesting. If you have any questions or anything, drop them down in the comments below.